Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott has signed a bill making illegal immigration a state crime. The law gives state officials the right to arrest and seek the deportation of migrants suspected of crossing the border illegally. Migrants could face up to 20 years in prison if they refuse a judge's order to return to Mexico in certain instances.
The goal of Senate Bill 4 is to stop the tidal wave of illegal entry into Texas. It creates a criminal offense for illegal entry into Texas from a foreign nation.
CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez is joining us now from Eagle Pass, Texas. Camilo, you reported that more than 10,000 migrants crossed the southern border just in the last day. First of all, talk to us about what you're seeing there, and then we can discuss a little bit more about this SB 4 bill.
That's right, Lilia. In just the past 24 hours, more than 10,000 migrants have been processed by Border Patrol agents, including more than 3,000 here in the Del Rio sector of Texas, and more are currently trying to enter the U.S. as we speak. We're currently here near Eagle Pass, Texas, right next to the Rio Grande. And as you can see, you're still seeing migrants. You're seeing a parent with this child here on his shoulders. We're seeing more migrants to really close to us too. And this is really a daily occurrence here along the U.S.-Mexico border. Just a few minutes ago, Lilia, I want to show you this. We saw dozens of migrants stream through this section of the razor wire here to enter the U.S. They had to lift this up, and I saw dozens of migrants, including families with really young children, having to crawl to get into the U.S. illegally. It was really a striking image, and it illustrates the humanitarian implications of this crisis here along the U.S.-Mexico border. And I want to show you a little bit more about what we have seen here. Here you see the belongings and wet clothing of migrants that they left after crossing the Rio Grande and getting across the razor wire. Yeah. Now they're getting processed by Border Patrol. And that 10,000 number that I mentioned earlier, Lilia, that doesn't even include the thousands of migrants who are currently waiting in a makeshift staging area in Eagle Pass, just waiting to be processed by Border Patrol agents who right now, Lilia, are overwhelmed.
Camilo, talk to me about what the migrants are telling you. We all have experienced that so often to, listen to the migrants and hear what it is that has brought them across such a treacherous trek across multiple countries and finally getting into the U.S. where they hope to find some safety.
Well, we have met migrants from across Latin America, including countries like Colombia and Venezuela. Many of the Venezuelan migrants whom we spoke to had to cross the notorious Darien jungle that divides Panama and Colombia and traverse the entirety of Central America and Mexico to get here. So these are some treacherous journeys, Lilia, that, as you know, these migrants have to undertake to get here to the U.S. And they told me that they did not expect to be sleeping in the outdoors, braving the elements for nights here in the U.S. They did not expect that. But in many ways, they believe that this is all going to be worth it because they want to find a job here. They want to reunite with family here, or in many cases, they're seeking asylum. We met a family from Colombia who said they're fleeing threats from the guerrillas in a section of Colombia where they are prevalent. And so they all come with different stories, Lilia, but this just shows the lengths that they're willing to take to try to get to the U.S. I mean, we're seeing more migrants as we speak right now, Lilia, trying to cross into the U.S., having to basically get away from the razor wire that Texas has set up. And Texas set this up, Lilia, to deter migrants from doing this. But it clearly is not deterring some of these migrants who are finding ways to get on American soil, Lilia.
Something else Texas is doing is what we were just talking about, this SB 4. Governor Abbott is pushing this law forward, which, as we both know, the states don't have the jurisdiction to implement immigration law. So how does it all work? Do you see challenges to this law coming? Do you see it being implemented? And what are some of the concerns that exist around it to give police, basically, these immigration enforcement powers?
That's right, Lilia. This really is an unprecedented state immigration law, and it's the latest attempt by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to challenge the Biden administration on this issue of immigration. It will allow state troopers and local police to arrest migrants on new state illegal re-entry charges into the U.S. and will also allow state judges to issue what are effectively deportation orders requiring migrants to go back to Mexico if they are suspected of violating this law, although the latter point is very unclear how that will be implemented because the government of Mexico, Lilia, has said that they will reject returns from Texas. And so this is really the latest attempt by Texas to challenge the state's limits on federal immigration enforcement, which, as you just rightly pointed out, is a federal responsibility. And so we expect some lawsuits. The law is expected to take effect in March, but it could be held up in court before that.
I mean, it's one thing to put migrants in buses and send them to another state. It's quite another to think that you can actually deport people into another country without that country agreeing. Camilo, thank you so much for your always thorough reporting. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lilia.